Charles White, critical, Cr1tikal, moist critical, Penguin Z0. This man can be called many things. He is a YouTuber, a streamer, a speedrunner, a podcast host, a musician, a world-famous actor, an esports league owner, a businessman, a hypochondriac, but mostly, he is a legend. This is the Moist Critical Timeline.
Hey, what's up everybody, it's Gooba. Today we're doing the Moist Critical Timeline. Let's do this shit. Many of his newer fans may know him from his streams or his commentary on current events in the news or YouTube drama, but he actually started out making commentary over 15 years ago as just a socially awkward teenager in Florida.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna do that voice. But he did start out 15 years ago as a socially awkward teenager in Florida, obsessed with nipples in the Gears of War series. Although he is a huge fan of wrestling and combat sports like slapping, he's a known pacifist and on many occasions has expressed his aversion to fighting. On his streams, you can find him streaming low-quality shovelware games in what he calls bad game night, or reacting to high-speed police chases. On his YouTube channel, you can find highlights from those streams, tier lists, movie and game reviews, music videos from one of his many side projects, The Gentleman, and more on that later. Alright, enough of that. Just like my Germa timeline, this video is for entertainment purposes only and isn't to serve as some kind of be-all end-all on Charlie's accomplishments and career. I just kind of felt like chronologically archiving one of my favorite creators' journey to becoming what he is today. Anyway, let's get started. But first, nothing. Here's where a sponsor spot would go. Hey, HelloFresh, Display, G Fuel, Honey, fucking Raid Shadow Legends, hit me up. I'll shill for you. I will shill for you. I'll shill for you so fucking hard. On August 2nd, 1994, Charles Christopher White Jr. was born in Tampa, Florida. An only child, he would grow up keeping to himself and has said many times throughout the years that he suffered from very low self-esteem and a terrible diet. This led him to be unemployed and unhappy for quite a long time. It was only exacerbated in the long term by being involved in an insurance scam in which, while driving home from college, a woman purposely caused a car accident. In 2006, he would end up discovering YouTube through videos covering RuneScape's infamous Falador Massacre. If you don't know what that is, basically a player in an online game found a way to start killing other players. The song Planet Hell by Nightwish played over it, and through searching for more content like that, found AMVs, or anime music videos. This would lead him to create his first YouTube channel so he could make his own AMVs. Also at some point, he made another channel uploading softcore porn for some reason. Ironically, around this time, he was a practicing Christian and feared masturbating. At just 13 years old, he created the YouTube channel Penguin Z0, named for his infatuation with penguins at the time. Here he'd post music by unsigned rappers, but also Gears of War montages and glitch compilations. He would go on to make hundreds of these. However, he would later go on to purge nearly all of these videos, so trying to go back and watch these are pretty much an impossible task. More on that later too. Apparently, the first video he would post on the channel was him performing a magic trick, something he would often do in his youth to try to impress his friends and pick up women. Once YouTube was starting to kick off for him though, he started his partnership on YouTube and would donate 100% of the money he made to charity. Around 2010, he would begin streaming on Justin TV, the predecessor to Twitch, although none of the streams have been archived. He'd also post to the website GameFAQs with a series called Fun Tactics. At the tail end of 2010, Charlie uploads the most difficult game ever created, gameplay and commentary, playing Quap, a flash game where you have to get a runner across a track by controlling his limbs with the four keys Q, W, O, and P.
What's up everybody, it's Critical, and this is a video for the most difficult game I've ever played in my life. It's called Q-Wop, and it's fucking impossible. So, I'm commentating this while I'm playing. I'm struggling to get my character to take the proper running stance. But what it is you are an Olympic runner by some incredible feat. But apparently this guy has no bones or cartilage, and you must somehow control this weird ass to a 100-meter finish line. Oh shit, no, he's on his knees! Oh my. Yeah, that looked painful. Now this is it right here. Oh shit, too much power, damn it! Holy shit, what is going on with the character? What is this? Looks like a fucking giraffe sucking its thumb while giving birth.
4 days later, he'd be featured on the YouTube show Equals 3, and this is the point in time that Charlie himself points to when asked why his channel blew up. It can't really be understated how popular Equals 3 was at the time. It was basically as big as some TV shows back then. Charlie would later go on to call this moment winning the lottery.
There's this flash game called QWOP. You mean WOP? What? No, that's racist. It's called QWOP, and if you've ever played QWOP, you know where I'm going with this. This game is literally the stupidest shit I've ever seen. All you have to do is make this jalopy-ass dude run 100 meters. That's it, 100 meters from one side to the other, and it's hard as Now this dude made a funny video demonstrating how difficult it is to get this guy to run straight.
And it's f***ing impossible. So, I'm commentating this while I'm playing.
After 2 years of posting more gameplay videos than racking up views, he would post the first of many of his Real series where he dubs over infomercials with hilarious commentary. The first being The Real Fridge Locker.
Anthony Sullivan here, and this is the pinnacle of human ingenuity. It's called the Fridge Locker. It is the food security system of the future. You can put your moonshine in there, your absinthe. It's got a fucking 3-digit combination for maximum security. It keeps your food safe, you son of a bitch. You have expired bread, put it in the fridge locker. Make it better bread. Tired of your kids shitting in your lunchbox? Well, throw your food in the portable Fort Knox. They won't get it.
A month later, he'd keep it going with The Real Grill Glove.
Are you fed up with using primitive instruments to properly grill decomposing body parts? Anthony Sullivan here. This bitch is the Grill Glove. If you've ever wanted to put your entire hand inside of a nipple, this is the product for you. Perfect grip, every flip, you piece of shit. You fumbling that shriveled voodoo head? Peekaboo, it's Anthony Sullivan, son of a bitch. With the Grill Glove, I can now grab the sun by the titties. I fucking hate my hand. But because of the Grill Glove, there's not shitting fuck I can do about it. I can't even scorch my skin with a damn blowtorch.
And a month after that, The Real Mighty Thirsty.
Anthony Sullivan here. Whoops-a-daisy, I spilt my beverage. This ordinary sponge just can't handle this type of shit. Go fuck yourself, sponge. Introducing the Mighty Thirsty. It's the super absorbent vacuum block humans have been demanding since the beginning of time. It can hold 8 times the weight of a rhinoceros. Where'd all the liquid go? Right there. Watch me trick this Mighty Thirsty into sipping up my piss. Did you know Mighty Thirsties were not created but instead were found deep within the Amazon rainforest? Research shows that each Mighty Thirsty is made with liquid love and PVA, which stands for pure vagina action.
In January of the next year, he'd play Opie Simulator under the title Titty Simulator. A perfect game to play considering his fondness for nipples at the time.
There we go, a little flick of the titties. Yeah. It fucking looks like a water balloon that's suffering from depression. Decrease the size, there we go. That looks more like a titty. If it was drawn on a chalkboard. In case you had a rough day playing in the pig pen, you can just blast your feet off with some milk. Clean them. Let's move it up. There we go. The optimal setup in case you're hungry or thirsty. You can just shoot milk into your mouth. The titty's vibrating. I increased the size a little bit. And now it's got a fucking jackhammer shoved in it.
In April, he discusses his disappointment in his comments section that keep mentioning PewDiePie, people freebooting his content to Facebook, and struggling to pronounce the word particularly.
I'm aware that in the comments section of almost every video, somebody writes something about a dude named PewDiePie, and then this sparks a massive argument with people just filling each other's assholes with piss, and then it just leads to nothing but arguing. And 9 times out of 10, the people that say something about PewDiePie are usually just trying to start an argument. I don't know why people try to start arguments for fun. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. It's what they want to do. Now, these arguments have gone on for like 2 months. I figured by ignoring them they would stop. But they haven't, so fucking might as well shit about it here. Now, the second matter of business. I have been told that some people have uploaded my commercial videos to Facebook without giving me credit. Well, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't make videos to receive credit or make videos for recognition. I make all this shit for fun. So go wild, sneeze on your ass cheeks, knock on your neighbor's door, sneeze on their ass cheeks. Fucking, I don't care. You can use my videos in whatever you want, however you want. You don't need to ask my permission. Fucking, it doesn't matter. I just genuinely have fun making all this. Not this video particularly. Fuck! This word is dropping a house on my tongue right now. Fucking feel like I'm running my tongue through a field of iron seaweed. I rarely ever use this word and I see why now. I fucking don't even know if I'm using the word correctly because I rarely ever hear it spoken. And for good reason, because it's impossible to say. in a debate, if you can use particularly with some usual talking speed, like you sound like a coherent human, you would win that debate fucking instantly. People would just pack it up right then and there.
Months later, Charlie expresses his gratitude to us with how much his channel has grown, and that while he does have trouble explaining how he feels sometimes, he is extremely thankful that he'd been able to donate over $35,000.
Now I'm making this video just to say thank you to all you who are subscribed to me. I really appreciate it. I know this is cliche and it's out of left field, but I really do mean it. Thank you. I'm not very good at this type of shit, but thank you. I don't like to talk about my YouTube channel, and very few people who know me in real life even know that I make videos. It's just not something I like to talk about, and I know I keep myself isolated from all of you, but I really do appreciate it. I read all of your messages, and some of them are extremely touching, so I just wanted to express my gratitude. And I'm just fucking atrocious at expressing gratitude. I'm just terrible at saying thank you. So I'm sorry if I sound stupid and dumb and fucking shitting. By now, all of you know I just make videos for fun. And to see my channel where it is now, it's extremely meaningful. I never expected my channel to grow like it has. And I never really cared whether or not it grew. And to be honest, I still don't care if my channel grows or not right now. I am content and I'm happy just making videos as it is right now. But I wanted to say thank you because it really is special to have this channel and have it be where it is. And I just wanted to thank you all for that.
Later on in the year, he would express his frustration with the YouTube change requiring a Google Plus account in order to comment on videos. If you don't know what Google Plus is, basically, Google tried to compete with Facebook and failed horribly.
I have to say, it's about fucking time. I was always wondering why YouTube comments would show up in my YouTube inbox. It's really counterintuitive. I was really looking for them on my Google Plus account I don't own. Thank heavens they've implemented this feature. Now it's time to be honest. This is fucking preposterous. See comments you care about up top. Well, that's rather hostile. So if you're not up top, you don't even matter. No one cares about your comment. You're just some loser. Let's say you're enjoying Lindsey Sterling or Epic Rap Battle's latest video and want to join the conversation. Would you rather see comments from people you care about, including Lindsey or ERB themselves, or just whoever in the world was last to post? So everyone out there that doesn't have over 1 million subscribers, you can go fuck yourself.
In a Q&A video, he goes over his first YouTube strike, voice acting, and his identity, which at the time was a complete secret.
First question is, what happened to my chemical spillage simulator video? Well, I got a copyright claim and got taken down thanks to YouTube's new, revolutionary, infallible, moist, clammy, crusty sack of camel shit copyright system it has in place right now. Is there any updates to give about my pursuit of being a voice actor? And yeah, I can actually give a little update on that. A friend of mine named Thomas actually got me 2 small roles in an upcoming video game, and that video game is what you're seeing in the background, and it's Tropico 5. I voiced the American slob and American cultured tourist and their selection characters in the modern times. There's an embargo on showing the modern times in this game right now, but Calypso Media gave me permission to show it here. I thought it'd be cheaper here. Oh, wonderful historical heritage. You expect a tip? So yeah, this is my first real voice acting shit right here. Hopefully in the future I can get some more voice acting roles. I know I'm not good at it at all right now, but I'm working on it and I'm trying to get better. The next question. I mention Courage the Cowardly Dog from time to time. Is it my favorite show? Well, does my asshole smell like shit? You bet it does. I fucking love Courage the Cowardly Dog. It is my favorite show. Now this next question is one that I've been avoiding talking about for a while, but you know, fuck it. We out here, I might as well address it right now. Will I ever reveal my identity, like my name, my face, or anything like that? I'll probably never give away that information. I don't know. Maybe in the future, like a long time down the road, I might decide to show what I look like or something. But as of right now, I have no plans or intentions to give away what I look like, my name, age, where I live, what type of dog I own, what brand of toilet paper I wipe my ass with, or anything like that.
In August, during a Five Nights at Freddy's video, he would tell the story of, well, let's just let him say it.
You know what? I'm gonna tell a story I've only told once to one person because it's probably the most embarrassing story I have. When I was 19, I met a girl at a party, and I got her number, and we were talking, and the next day I ended up at her place, and she wanted to give me a blowjob, but the timing could not have been worse. It was suboptimal timing. It would have been better timing if she gave me a blowjob when I was feeding my dogs in front of my parents, but this was just inhumane. I really, really had to take a piss. And for some reason, I didn't just excuse myself and was like, "Excuse me, I really need to use your restroom to urinate." I wanted to tough it out. I wanted to really like be a big man, a big strong man, and get a blowjob while having to take a piss, and I thought everything would be fine. So if she starts going to town, and I piss all over her, right in her mouth, in her face. There was no mistaking, it was piss. Like, you can put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. This didn't even try to disguise its true identity. It was yellow as a pineapple, and it indiscriminately soaked everything in her room. It was like I was firing a Thompson submachine gun. It was fucking propelling at speeds I could only imagine a fucking space shuttle could travel at. And I was just shocked because I don't usually piss with the force of 1,000 ballistas, but this piss was leaving my urethra with a mission. And that mission was to cover the world in itself, to drown the universe in this vile liquid I was producing. It was absolutely remarkable. And I felt it coming too. I could feel it just surging. I could feel the calm before the storm, and then the storm itself. I knew I had opened Pandora's box. And I was gonna try and play it off cool. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be like, I ejaculate pretty hard sometimes, but when I saw how yellow it was, I knew this is how the world was going to end. And I remember, after the apocalypse erupted from me, I remember verbatim what she said. She said, "I just can't deal with this." And then I don't remember exactly what she said next, and I don't remember exactly how she dealt with the mess I created, but I do remember that it has a happy ending, and we ended up still hooking up, so that was fine. But on that day I learned a valuable lesson. Humanity received a grim reminder that when you need to piss, you should absolutely piss. It was also really cool of her though, because she didn't get extremely pissed off that I pissed on everything she held dear in the world. We saw each other a lot after that actually. We didn't date, but we did see each other a lot. She was really cool. I really, really liked her. I also just realized I'm almost out of power here. And I also realized this is the first story I've shared about one of my many fuck-ups with women.
In a video titled "Holy Shit," he would celebrate hitting 1 million subscribers, which at the time was a pretty huge deal. He'd also go over his charity, his favorite video games, and what kind of music he likes.
To have over 1 million subscribers is something I never ever thought would happen. 7 or 8 years ago I started making videos purely for fun. I still make them purely for fun, but I never thought I would have a big following or anything on this website. So it's really, really hard for me to put it into words just how special it is to me to have the kind of support you've all given me. But what's even more special than just the number of subscribers is what we've been able to accomplish together. 2 years ago I decided to get partnership on YouTube with the intention of giving all the money that I would be making from YouTube to various charities. And now 2 years later, we've been able to donate over $50,000 to a lot of good charities. And I feel like together we've actually impacted the world in some small way. I feel like thanks to all of you, we've actually been able to make some type of very small difference in this world. And that means everything to me. Ever since I started making videos, people have wanted to know about my life, but I never really wanted to talk about it. But I'll talk about it a little bit here, not much. So I'll start with that. I'm gonna start from when I started playing video games. The first game I played was Wave Runner on the Nintendo 64. I was pretty young, and I loved it. And I've been playing games ever since, and I'll always play games. I'm pretty much mediocre at everything I've ever done. In school, I didn't get good grades, I didn't get bad grades. I got mediocre grades. Basketball, I wasn't the best point guard, I wasn't the worst, I was mediocre. I'm really the most average person in the fucking world. I can juggle, but I'm not very good at it. I'm just mediocre. I can do it. I can do magic tricks, but I'm not the best at it. I'm mediocre. It's kind of sad, actually. Fuck. But it isn't sad. Like, shit. I can learn to do anything. but I will never excel at it no matter how much work I put into it. And that's fine with me. I like just being able to dabble in a bunch of different shit and not be a connoisseur at it. Next question. Why do I spell critical wrong and put a number in it? Well, when I made that gamer tag on Xbox Live, every other variation of critical was taken, and I really liked the way it sounded. So I really wanted it. So the only way to get it was to make it look like a fucking 8-year-old made it. And so be it, I don't really give a fuck. Well, this one is a lot less, there's a text message, this one is a lot less thrilling. It's simply tradition. I did it one time on a Battlefield Fun Tactics video, and since then, you know, I just figured, you know what, I can fucks with this. So I just kept doing it for all of my videos, at least most of them, not all of them. What are my top 5 favorite video games? Alright, I don't have a 5th favorite video game, I can't decide on one. My 4th tie between Final Fantasy 7 through 10. My 3rd favorite game is City of Heroes. 2nd, Halo 2. And 1st, my favorite game is Psychonauts. What type of music do I listen to? I like just about anything with a guitar. But I also do like some rap. Rap that doesn't have a chorus. I like rap that is just the rapper just spitting verses. I really like that shit. But yeah, the music I most listen to is metal and just anything with a guitar, really. Next question. Why don't I want anyone to know what I look like or know anything about me? This one's kind of deep. This one's a little difficult here. I just think it's better that way. Each one of you makes up your own face for me when you see one of my videos. That face you make up's gonna change now because you know a little bit more about me. Well, my entire power just went out. I don't know how my computer's still fucking on. It's probably the surge protector that's beeping at me. Well then, I can keep answering this question. Unless, of course, this isn't the surge protector and it is in fact a bomb that's about to blow up. That would be really unfortunate. Oh, there we go, it stopped. I don't know if you could hear that lightning. Hopefully you could. That was something right out of Zeus's asshole.
Clearly down and depressed, Charlie explains that he's been unemployed for a long time and he wants to split his YouTube revenue to use for himself. I guess he was expecting some kind of backlash due to him selling out, as he puts it. But, of course, he was met with unanimous positivity. Later on in the video, he says that he thinks his YouTube will never become profitable enough to become financially sustainable. If only he knew.
I'm sure most of you know that all of the money I get from YouTube goes directly to charity. I donate 100% of it, and I've been doing that for about 3 years now. And throughout the 3 years, money was never really like a huge issue. I wasn't wealthy, never have been, but it wasn't an issue. I wasn't borderline about to be living in a used condom on a busy street, pissing in a cup, drinking it to just survive. Like, I could live okay without keeping any of the money. So I kept donating it. That's the only reason I ever got partnership on YouTube, was just to donate money to try and make a difference. And I'm glad that I've been doing that, and I want to keep doing it. I've had a job before, one that I didn't like, and I'm not going to go back and doing that again. I'm not going to just go fucking lock myself in a cubicle and trim my toenails all day. So I just would like to, figure out what I want to do with my life. So what I've been giving a lot of thought to recently is doing a split with the YouTube money here. Keep 50, donate 50. That would help me get my life together, and it also allow me to keep donating to charities, which is something I'm very passionate about and I don't want to stop anytime soon. So what I would do is I would change the way ads work on my videos. Right now, you'd probably know there's no pre-roll ads on any of my videos. The only ads I have are the least intrusive ones. And the only reason I would enable another ad to begin with is so that way at the end of the month the revenue is a little higher. So when I take 50% out, it doesn't hinder how much I donate to charities. Now, I really hope no one thinks this is me selling out in any way, shape, or form. This is never going to become a job for me. YouTube will just never ever be a job for me. It'll only ever be a hobby.
6 days after this, though, he explains that he hasn't been paid by YouTube for a few months and therefore couldn't donate any of his money. This led him to start up his own Patreon.
If any of you follow my charity Twitter account where I post the donations per month, you'll know that I haven't donated since February. And you'd also know that the reason I haven't donated since February is because I haven't received a check from the people that partner me on YouTube since February. And the check I received in February was a check that they owed me since December. So for the last couple months I haven't received shit from them. And it's just getting stupid. So I started talking to some people that used to be partnered with the same organization. And according to them, I've been getting fucked by the people that partner me for the last 3 years. Fucked nice and sideways. And they said there's a good chance I might not even get those checks ever. So that was kind of weird. And it got me thinking about some shit. And after reading some of your emails that talked about something called Patreon, I looked into what that was all about. Whatever hocus pocus that website was. And initially my response was, that's not something I want to do. I've never taken donations from people in my life, and I've never planned on it. But I started talking to some friends of mine, some good friends, and I ran that by them, and they were like, look man, you might want to consider that, because you are really getting rim jobbed hard by your partner company, whatever. So I started to think about it, and I kind of came up with the idea, well, what if I did do Patreon, and then if I ever do start getting checks from YouTube again, I could just donate all of that money to charities again. So I could still donate the full amount of the YouTube money to charities, and I could still try and get my life on track.
In another Q&A video, he discusses being recognized in public, his hatred of planes, and more info on his partner network.
The first question is, do I shave my asshole? I definitely feel this question begs for an answer, and I feel like I should answer it. So, there's not like a real clear-cut answer to this one, because I don't separate my ass cheeks and take a razor to my anus, but I do sometimes find myself exploring that vicinity with an electric razor. Now, it's not like I plan on going there. I don't bend over and instantly put the electric razor there, but when I shave my pubic region, which I absolutely need to do, otherwise it looks like Chewbacca's armpits, I'll use an electric razor and then sometimes start heading south towards the taint. Have I ever been recognized in public by my voice? Yes, it's happened one time in my life. I was at Target. I don't remember what I was buying. Knowing the weird shit I sometimes come home with from there, I was probably buying a noodle pal and a coloring book. But anyway, the person who was checking me out said, hey, you sound like this dude. And I was like, a dude, hey? I'm a dude. What dude? And he said, this dude, and then he said critical. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I got super awkward about it, really shy, and I started playing with my nose for some reason, so he probably thought I was some real fucking creep, and then I just left. Do I like to travel? Traveling in itself is fun, as long as I can do it by automobile. I absolutely am terrified of flying. I cannot fly. I've flown about 3 times in my life, scared, assless every single time. The last time I went flying, I was sitting next to an old woman, grabbed her thigh instantly, right when we were taking off. Just grabbed her thigh. She must have been alarmed, but she was very nice and played it off cool. But when we were getting in the air, I damn near just looked right at her and started screaming in her face. Flying is just not for me. Next question is one I've been getting a lot recently. Why don't I just drop my partner network? I can't. I've looked over the contract quite a few times now, and there's no way I can actually drop it, at least not in the way I want to. Even if I broke the contract, it really wouldn't matter. Next question. You said you write lyrics. Do you write music too? Nope. I tried one time. I downloaded FL Studio and gave it my best shot. Really toyed around with it for a few hours. But when I had finally finished with what I thought was going to be the next huge club song, sounded more like a recorder being used as a dildo, and I kind of gave up on making music after that. This will probably be the final question I answer in this video. Will you ever sell merchandise of any kind? No, I don't think so. That's just not something I'm interested in doing at all. So nah, I don't think I'll do that.
Late in September, in a very gloomy video, Charlie, while drunk, explains his life is at a low point, but explains that he wants his life goal to be making the world a better and brighter place.
So, a month ago I made that video about how I've hit rock bottom and I'm at the lowest point in my life, but I'm trying to be optimistic. And a long time ago I made that video about how I have the naive goal of ending corruption, which everyone knows, including me, that probably will not happen. But I like to shoot for the stars, but that's not all I want to do. I want everyone to know my name. I want my name to be remembered. I want to be remembered. I want to be remembered as someone who made a positive impact on the entire world, and I want everyone on the planet to know who I am. I don't care if they know me by Critical or by my real name, Charlie. It doesn't matter to me. I just really want to be a part of something big that helps the world, that fixes it, to just make it better. And I really want that. And saying these things about myself is super uncomfortable. Like, this isn't something I tell anyone, really. So maybe it's because I'm drunk, but I just really kind of want to open up right now. I have these huge goals that just seem impossible to be met, but with all the support all of you give me and all the emails you send me, it just means so much, and it really makes me feel like I can actually do the things that I want to do with my life. And that just means the world to me, so thank you all so much.
2 months later, on his Snapchat, he would finally reveal his face. And I don't think you realize how big a deal this was at this time. Charlie was one of the biggest YouTubers on the entire platform, and no one knew what he looked like, and all of a sudden he just reveals his face, and like the Squidward meme, oh no, he's hot. Yeah. Basically, they were expecting some huge fat guy, but were instead incredibly surprised with how attractive he was. Anyway, in the middle of next year, he'd post his first of many speedruns, a sub 15-minute run of Luigi's Mansion.
This is one of my favorite games ever made, but unfortunately I blow the filthiest rectums at this game, so I know I'm not getting the world record. But I've mastered the extreme tricks, the turbo stunts, so I believe in the nipples that believe in my nipples that I can get a pretty respectable time. My wisdom tooth still hurts, so just a quick update on that, which is why I'm still talking with a bit of a lisp and sound like the Mad Hatter farting through a ham radio. And there's something strange in the neighborhood. Who are you gonna call? J.G. Winsworth. 877 cash for gold.
At the end of the year, he would introduce his podcast, the aptly named Official Podcast. It was extremely awkward, as most first podcast episodes are, but it's here we're introduced to 3 of his close friends, Jackson Clark, Andrew, better known as Hugbees, and Kaya Orsan.
Can we do a clap sync just so I can sync it up later?
Sure.
Everyone clap on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yay.
Was that close enough?
That was real bad.
That sounded good to me.
That's alright enough.
Oh god.
we can edit that in post.
Jackson, just try your fucking best. What we're trying to convey is we are all extremely jealous of PewDiePie and wish that we were him instead.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone disagrees in the entire audience.
That's true. What if the entire world was PewDiePie? Like every single
like
human
heaven.
being
Well,
on
then
Earth
no
was
one would-
Felix.
no.
Wait, there'd be no girls.
But
We'd all be fucking
So
PewDiePies.
you'd get. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter. You'd get to fuck
PewDiePie's prettier.
PewDiePie. No matter who you had sex with, you'd be fucking PewDiePie. It doesn't matter. You're coming out on top or bottom, depending on your preference.
not judging.
PewDiePie doesn't judge.
What would you guys be, top or bottom?
Now wait, that's actually a good
Yeah.
question. If the whole world was PewDiePie's,
No.
would they watch the Let's Plays? Think about it. Maybe we should move on.
He'd finish off the year by explaining the insurance scam he was involved in.
About 4 or 5 years ago, I was involved in a car accident, and then a lady faked an injury and sued me for it, and it was just a really shitty period for me. And I made a video after the whole lawsuit and everything was finished and done with, but I still get asked a lot to go into more detail about what happened, so I figured fuck it, why not? It's kind of an interesting story. So I was on my way home from my figure drawing art class, and I'm pretty shitty at art, and drawing nude models was just incredibly difficult. They'd strike the most bizarre poses like the Inquisitive Masturbator or the YMCA, and I'd do my best to doodle them, but it always came out looking like something out of a 3-year-old sketchbook. It basically just looked like you were looking at bacteria under a microscope. But regardless of my artistic ineptitude, it's irrelevant. So I was driving home from that class, and it's just an ordinary commute and bumping some boner jams, and then all of a sudden, the car in front of me slams on their brakes, and I had absolutely no time to react. So I rear-ended that car, and then that car rear-ended the car in front of them. Now, it wasn't a high-speed impact. At most, I was going 25, but I didn't have time to slam on my brakes because I was driving a little too close to them, so that was like a full 25 in the anus. And luckily, no one was hurt in the accident. But I turn off the boner jams and I go check on the passengers in both cars, and I swear I couldn't have gotten in an accident with 2 worse groups of people in those cars. The car that I rear-ended was driven by a nurse who was also the babysitter of the 2 kids in the car whom she was bringing to their families, and the kid in the front seat, the front passenger seat, had a fucking artificial sternum and set of ribs. So when she told me that, I just figured the kid wasn't gonna make it, even though I don't think he was injured. Maybe the airbag clipped him and just destroyed the poor guy. but he was fine. The kid in the back seat was on like an oxygen tank or something, or I don't know what he had back there. He had some type of Star Trek contraption that was keeping him afloat. So I just thought they were both gone for. The lady was totally fine. It turns out the kids were both fine, but I was fucking panicked once I heard all of this information and saw when I looked in the car. And then the car they rear-ended was driven by a mid-90s woman transporting her 74-year-old son to a doctor's appointment to check on the condition of his fucked up leg. And then about a week later, the woman driving the car with the 2 glass children issues a lawsuit. She's suing me and my family, stating that she suffered severe neck injuries as a result of the accident, which is just bullshit, and we tried to fight it, but there really wasn't much we could do, because she went to one of the most corrupt doctors in Tampa, who was well known for performing fake surgeries on ambulance chasers. So she goes to this bogus doctor, and over the course of a year, gets a bunch of injections of Dorito dust into her, and then gets her tits polished or something. Then after about a year, she got a settlement from my insurance company for a very mediocre sum of money, and I imagine at most she probably pocketed about $5,000, so I don't know if it was really worth her time and effort, but whatever. All power to you, you fucking asshole.
To celebrate 10 years on YouTube, in a video titled 10 Years on YouTube, a very visibly uncomfortable Charlie officially shows his face for the first time on the channel and goes into the history of it.
Hello. What's up everybody, it's Critical. Delivering a really high enthusiasm intro for this very special video. So this year will be my 10th year on this shithole of a website called YouTube, and I wanted to do something very special, something very much out of my comfort zone, which this is, because this is my first in real life video on this channel. I know this is some groundbreaking shit. No YouTuber has ever gone so far as to put their face on the shit they create. I'm really blasting open a new door into this golden age of YouTubing. So I'm happy to be the pioneer here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and address the shit in the background first, because I know I'm gonna get asked about it. This is my animal slipper collection. I fucking love animal slippers. I fucking love them. That's no joke. And I'm really uncomfortable if you can't tell, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with an in real life video. So I guess the best place to start is in the beginning. My mother got pregnant and I came out of her pussy hole in 1994. I'll do the math for you. That makes me 22 years old. And 10 years after 1994 was 2004. I was 10. I hadn't started YouTubing yet. YouTube actually wasn't even around back then. But 3 years after that, that's when I started, in 2007, May 7th of that year. So it was 2007, and I had just bought a new game for the Xbox 360 called Gears of War, and I fucking loved it. That game got me hard as a rock, gave me my first boners. First time I ever saw cum was when I got a really nice double kill in there. It was incredible. It wasn't my own cum, it was my dad. He just thought it was the coolest thing ever, too. But the thing I'm trying to say is I fucking love the game. I'd have dreams where I'm making videos, but most of those videos just consisted of bouncy titties and stuff, so it wasn't anything I could actually put on YouTube. And I just really found this passion for creating shit. And then in 2010, something incredible happened. A guy named Ray William Johnson put one of my videos, my Quap video, in his video, where he just, talks about viral videos, even though mine wasn't. For some reason, he slipped it in there. Might have been by accident. I don't know. Most of you probably don't even know who Ray William Johnson is. Some of you are probably born after he was already off YouTube. But he used to be the biggest channel on this cesspool of a website. And when that happened, man, that was like winning the lottery for me. I can still remember that day vividly. I don't think I have smiled that hard or been that giddy since. Here's another fun fact for you. The first video I ever made on YouTube was of me, myself. It was actually just my chest, and I used to be fat, so it just looked like a pair of tits doing a magic trick. And the first comment I ever received was someone asking if I was a boy or a girl, because all you could see was my fat tits doing a magic trick. Now, that really didn't encourage me to keep pushing through and making videos, but for some reason I still did.
At the end of the month, Charlie posts the first Moist Meter, his still running movie and video game review series in which he grades a game or film's moisture. He begins the series with a review of Mass Effect Andromeda.
Mass Effect has always been a series that's been near and dear to my rear. I loved 1, 2, and most of 3. As like most people, I was disappointed with the insufferably shitty, slipshod, slapdash, abhorrent, repugnant, revolting, repulsive, poopy, fucking abysmal ending to the Mass Effect 3, which really soured the whole series for me. But I still went into this game with an open mind and erect nipples, and I didn't really have too many expectations for the game, and yet I was still disappointed and let down by it.
In late June, he'd upload a video explaining how he pretty much controls old school RuneScape's economy of the item Monkey Nuts.
I'm gonna check my Monkey Nut stash in a second here. You're gonna be so jealous.
I'm at 5k, dude.
5k Monkey Nuts is fucking nothing. I have in total 24,000 Monkey Nuts. What do you have?
I have 13,000, so
All
we're
right.
up to 37k.
Let's crash the Monkey Nuts market.
He'd finish 2017 with another Q&A talking about things like a video he can't find, the moist meter, and why he hates PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
First one is, what happened to the lesbian porn video that I exclusively masturbated to for a few years? For those of you who don't keep up with podcast lore, for a couple of years I would only masturbate to one lesbian porn video called Nice Pair of Lesbians. I was basically married to this video. I wouldn't cheat on it with any other videos. And I've been getting asked throughout the entire year what happened to it. So let's talk about Nice Pair of Lesbians. It got taken down, and to my knowledge and through research, extensive research, I can't find it anywhere. There's no re-uploads. If there is re-uploads, it's probably in like 140p, and that's just not even worth busting to. But yeah, so let's take a moment of silence and remember Nice Pair of Lesbians on RedTube. I don't like PUBG for one big reason. The game is fucking boring. At its core, it's just a boring game. And now on to the next question, which really just kind of piggybacks off the last one. Why don't I like PlayerUnknown? Well, it's because, in my opinion, he's just a laughably pathetic developer, but I just think the way he conducts himself is sad. You could cough in his general direction, you will not only get banned in his game, he will then go on Twitter and drum up some sob story about how when he was 8 years old, a serial killer coughed near him and it cursed his whole family, so it's a traumatic experience.
In March of the next year, he'd be mentioned on the news site The Daily Dot for his coverage on the failed Kickstarter project The Meme Restaurant. And at the end of that month, he'd show off his DDR skills. In May, he explains that while trying to get adult film star Riley Reid on the official podcast, he was denied due to his criticism of her terrible rap song. Also, the video explaining this has the extremely rare occasion of Charlie using the YouTube comment section. Honestly, through the research I've done, looking at hundreds of Critical's videos, I haven't seen another comment by him, so this might be his only one.
During one of my streams a while ago, someone asked me if I could get Riley Reid to come on the podcast, to talk about wieners, vaginas, pussies, and RuneScape, just the normal type of porn talk on the podcast. And I responded saying I don't think Riley Reid would ever want to do that because she doesn't like me, personally. And that led to me telling the story of the beef between Riley Reid and myself. Beef being the wrong word, but for lack of a better term, the bad blood between us. So it all started when I made a video about Riley Reid's abominable rap, which remains today one of the worst raps I've ever heard. Now there's definitely a lot worse raps on YouTube from small channels with like 30 views, maybe from like Old Pop Hickey Yokel's barnyard rap ballad about cunnilingus on his animals and making love to his sister. And who could forget when she really takes it home with jerk it out, jerk it out, jerk it out, beat it out, beat it out, beat it out, jerk it out, jerk it out, beat it out, jerk it out. So I can understand when I insulted her magnum opus of music that she wasn't too happy with that. 3 months after that, I went on her Twitter page just browsing and perusing, learning more than anything. Well, honestly, I was just looking for titties for lack of a better cover story. I went through a lot of different porn stars pages just to see what productions they were taking part in, really. But while on Riley Reed's, I noticed she had retweeted some fan art. And let me tell you what, that fan art, bingo, bango, bongo, that's the epitome of fan art right there. What it was a crayon drawing of Riley Reed spreading her ass cheeks apart and just having her brown balloon nut winking at the camera. It was fucking beautiful. And I saw this, and I made a tweet about it. It was a very vague tweet. I didn't say what porn star. All I said was, haha, I just saw, porn star's fan art with her gaping asshole in crayon. It was great. And then I guess people found it and told the artist that I said that. And then the artist called me an asshole, and then Riley Reed retweeted that saying I'm an asshole. So then they were just double teaming me. And, it all stemmed because, I mean, come on, it's a crayon drawing of a porn star's asshole. How's that not entertaining? I don't want to show the fan art, but instead I took it upon myself to try and doodle it myself. I did 2 attempts here, neither one of them really capture it. This was my first attempt. It doesn't really convey what it looked like. This looks more like a God of War enemy. So then I tried again, and this one just kind of looks like a Wallace and Gromit character doing some naughty shit.
Upon hearing of the toy company Toys R Us going out of business, he bought over 5,000 ball pit balls and filled his hallway with them to make his dog the happiest dog in the world. The video would then go on to get tons of media coverage from news sites all over. Next month, in what will become his most viewed video of all time, right now sitting at 24 million views, he tells us the story of how he became an A-list actor.
I was an extra in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. I know, no autographs. I'm just a normal person like all of you. I put my pants on one nipple at a time and wipe my ass crack after a hard shit with both hands. When it comes to being a useless extra in a movie, I'm the cream of the crop. I'm the cream supreme. Does that mean that I'm the best actor in the entire world of acting? I like to think so, but on paper, no, absolutely fucking not. So this story starts like every other good story, every other fairy tale. I had just drained my nuts at a hard jerk-off session, and that's not a joke because I genuinely did jerk off. And in that like brief 5 or 10 minutes of just pure euphoria where you feel like you know everything in the universe, like you see the strings that hold it all together, I decided, you know what? I want to pursue some acting. So like every 21st century man, I turned to Google and I was looking up open casting calls and found one for Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. It was in Atlanta, and they wanted headshots and full body shots shirtless. I didn't really know how to do this because I didn't have either of those, and I didn't really want to ask my friends because Tinder wasn't exactly around at that time, so I couldn't just play it off as, hey bro, I'm just trying to slay some punani out here, take these cool shirtless pics of me, let me flex real hard real quick. So I didn't want to ask my friends for anything like that, so I thought it'd be significantly less weird to ask my dad to do it. So my dad was snapping some cool shirtless pictures of me like every good father and son relationship. But what I didn't think of at the time is my dad's 6'5", he's tall as shit, and I'm 5'6", I'm short as shit. And he was taking them at regular eye level, so he was looking down on me, which made me look even shorter than I am. So I looked like a fucking action figure in these photographs. They ended up choosing me to play an extra, and when I went to the fitting, they had a hard time actually getting me anything because they had already banked on me being 4'1". So that was kind of nice and flattering when they're like, wow, you're taller in person, because that's something I've never heard in my entire fucking life. Usually it's, wow, yikes. If you pause the movie right here, you can see my arm doing the, is it the, I don't remember, one of these or whatever the fuck the symbol is for Hunger Games, but yeah, you can see me poking it out there.
The month after this, he would show up on Sardonicast, a movie review podcast hosted by Your Movie Sucks, I Hate Everything, and Ralph the Movie Maker.
I'm actually curious, at what point and why did you start the Moist Meter series? Because that is the, I guess, kind of like film review portion of your videos, and you haven't always been doing that, if I remember correctly. That's like a more recent thing?
Yeah, I started that about a year ago. I don't consider myself a critic in any regard. I don't really have the eye for like the more finer details like you fine gentlemen do. For me, I go to a movie or video game. I do games and movies. And what I'm looking for is just, above all else, was it entertaining? Did I walk away feeling like I spent my time well? So I look for things like, did the story make sense? Did it need to? Fucking great. All right. It didn't? Well, that movie sucked dick. And here's why. It's just, above all else, it's like a layman's experience at a movie.
After that, the official podcast hits episode 100, and Charlie and Kaya tell the story of how they met, and it's adorable.
You know how you just feel like shit in your teenage years even though you have your whole life ahead of you? Like if 30-year-old you would see teenage you would slap that guy. That was me. I was sad, so I was on one of Charlie's videos trying to pass time, I guess, on how to destroy humans. Or destroy all humans, whatever it's called, sorry. And I left a message like, man, I really feel down in the dumps right now. I wish your videos were just as funny as I watched them the first time. Because I had watched them many, many times because I liked Charlie's content. My point is I left a comment and then I get a message from Charlie. And at the time, YouTube had a messaging system where you did not have to click 5 links to find your inbox. Charlie messaged me. I saw the message from him on this, whatever, the archaic YouTube messaging system. And I recognized their username, like Penguin01101 or whatever. Holy shit, is that actually him or am I getting pranked? And I don't know what Charlie wrote, but he was nice and he was asking what the fuck was wrong. Basically, which, you know, I'm not making it sound as nice as the message was, but the point is he was trying to just help. So I spilled my heart out to him in a long ass cringy message and he replies with, do you have an Xbox Live account? And I of course
Do you want to smash?
did not, because at the time the last console I had owned was like a Nintendo DS, the original one, the one that looks like one of those blocks of stones you make the pyramids out of. So I reply with, no, I don't have any consoles, but do you have Skype? And yeah, we talked on Skype, I remember now. It wasn't MSN Messenger. MSN wasn't around then.
When you sent this enormous message spilling your feelings and all that kind of stuff, did he just reply with like a one-sentence reply saying, do you have Xbox?
No, not at all. He was not
kind
a
of the gist of
douchey, oh, okay, kind of a reply. Like, he didn't just leave me on scene or be like dismissive. He was like, you know, again, I don't remember exactly, but he was like, oh, I understand. I think he thought I was like about 5 seconds from killing myself, probably. Right? So Charlie was acting as a suicide hotline. I could kind of sort of tell that he had done this before, where he was trying to help sad dweeps, leaving him sad comments. So
That's so cute.
yeah, it was super cute. So I don't know if he added me or if I added him on Skype where we talk.
I thought you would have loved this story to go down in a way that made you look like the alpha.
There's
Chad,
nothing,
just
again, there's
fucking
nothing
Charlie
alpha
Raw.
about leaving asshole comments on YouTube videos.
Yeah, there's really nothing tough about that.
Shout out to you stupid fucking cocksuckers leaving negative comments on our podcast. Suck a dick.
In 2018's Q&A, he talks about his dislike of memes, his Twitch stream, and his taste in adult films.
Do you still play Recorder? You tell me. Here's one that I absolutely hate, but I have to acknowledge because it truly is probably one of the top 3 most asked questions of the year. What is your favorite meme? Fucking hate meme and meme culture. I think it's all just super god-awful and lazy. I just don't even understand the point of memes anymore. They're not even entertaining. They don't even get like an exhale from the nostril anymore. They just seem fucking silly. Odd flex, but okay. And god fucking e-meme. I hate that shit. But I have to acknowledge it because I answer the most asked questions every year. So what is your favorite meme? The only meme that I appreciate in any capacity is the oppressed gamer meme. I've answered this multiple times and even made a video answering it again, and yet I'm still getting emails about it, so I'm going to answer it yet again. Where do you stream now, since you haven't streamed on YouTube in a while? I stream on Twitch now. But wait, I thought you fucking hated Twitch. Yeah, I had a lot of problems with Twitch, the majority of which they've been actively improving on. Meanwhile, YouTube is devolving and fucking its own ass in all possible aspects. So I do all my streaming on Twitch now. See, even Tetra's tired of this fucking question. Listen to that. What is your favorite type of porn? Lesbian porn. I'm a man of exquisite taste. What can I say? Lesbian porn offers by far some of the best in the business. It's hard to dispute that fact.
8 days later, he'd post a video called "The First Time I Tried to Suck My Own Penis." It's exactly what it says on the tin.
It's a story as old as time itself. I'm sure anyone out there can relate to it. It's a story of when I first tried to suck my own penis. All men have tried it. There's two types of men in this world: men who have tried to suck their own cock, and liars. So obviously I have tried before. So to set the stage, I was probably around like 13 or 14, I'm not exactly sure when, and I was just starting to refine my palate and get a taste for what I liked from pornography and titties and stuff on the internet. And during this time I was very religious, so I was kind of fearful and ashamed of watching porn. I thought anytime I even touched my wiener, I was giving God the middle finger and he was ashamed of me and sad and he'd frown, so I didn't do it all that often. But occasionally the mood would strike me right and I'd Google image search for boobies and butts and vaginas and, get very excited looking at these things, give it 2 thumbs up and sometimes even save it to favorites on my folder. But anyway, one particular evening, I was extremely horny. I was Googling boobies left and right. I was like fucking Professor Xavier jacking into Cerebro. I was looking at boobies all over the place. I could see them all over the internet. And man, I was just really fucking feeling myself. I didn't jerk off or anything though, because like I said, I thought jerking off was a bit too far in the eyes of Christianity, and Google Images was tame enough where, I'd be forgiven. So I was looking at these images, and I eventually said, this is enough. I went into the bathroom, I was going to take my shower, I was still sailing full mast, I was hard as a fucking diamond, and man, I was just so horny, I would have fucked my own ass if I could. But anyway, I'm standing there super erect in front of my shower, and I look at my wiener, and I'm like, damn, that's my fucking winky doodle right there. It's going in my mouth. But I was never a flexible guy. I could never throw my legs behind my head and start nibbling on my ball sack or anything. I just was never flexible at any point in my life. But for some reason, I got the idea that I could absolutely accomplish the sucking of my own cock. So I attempted. I get like halfway down, and then I damn near need life alert because I thought I was going to snap my spine in half going for this advanced contortionist move. So I'm just locked in this fucking demonic pose looking like Schmeagol admiring his precious in Lord of the Rings.
In March of 2019, he tells the story of how his extreme OCD caused him to pleasure himself to the exact same adult video for over 2 years.
I've made it no secret that I refuse to get a haircut at the moment, and that I also used to have very bad OCD. Not your generic watered down bullshit meaningless version of OCD where you move your car keys from the counter to the drawer because you don't like them on the counter. That's not fucking OCD, you goddamn bigot. Don't you hijack what OCD actually means. I had literal OCD, and one of my rituals was watching the exact same lesbian porn video for the better part of 2 years. And I want to tell you what happened as a result of doing that. Now, let's go ahead and start. The video was called Nice Pair of Lesbians. Let's take a moment of silence to remember that beautiful video from redtube.com. It is no longer on redtube.com. Okay, thank you for participating. I would make certain facial expressions during certain points in the video. I would say certain things to the actresses in the video, and make no mistake, you goddamn delusional incels, the porn actresses are just that, they're actresses. They have a script of certain moves they're going to do. It's not like they're just fingering themselves and ass blasting their assholes with their fists for your enjoyment alone. It is a job, and they are actresses. Get it through your fucking skull. But anyway, I would say things to them like, oh, you're so hot, that's so sexy, I'm touching my dick to you, as if they could hear me, and as if I was communicating to them directly as like the director of this video. And while it was buffering and loading, I would turn around from the video, so that way I couldn't see them, and they couldn't see me, obviously, and I would look at my penis until it was completely flaccid, entirely soft. So that way I was coming in there with like a clean canvas, and they were going to 100% get me from 0 to hero. So once I was certain that my dick was super soft, I would then sit down and get ready for the action. As it would start, I would say hello to the girls, and I'd compliment them on their beauty. The video started with a girl fingering herself, and I would compliment her on how great she was doing, and then the other girl joined in, and then I'd say hi to her, like, oh, hey, you just stopping by? Shit like that. It was really fucking weird. And honestly, I hope the NSA was watching during those times, because I would love to see those documents. I'd love to see that film. I think that shit would make for a really incredible case study on OCD, because that shit was goofy as fuck.
Next month, he'd go on to post some of his best work, in my opinion. The first track of his musical side project, The Gentleman, 2019 Guy. In collaboration with Troy McCoubrey of New Zealand-based metal project Soul State, they would go on to produce an incredible comedy rock album. Seriously, it can't be understated how every single song they put out absolutely fucking bangs. It's not often comedy artists go this hard, but they went the extra mile here. I guess like Charlie would say,
Like a pile of poo that has sexual intercourse with fruit, this shit is fucking bananas.
Hello, hi, I'm a 2019 guy. I think science is a lie. I am offended online. I'm fragile and shy. I don't really go outside. I don't have friends, that's why I am offended all the time. My dick's not big, my girlfriend fucked my friend. You say I'm down on my luck, I say it's a win-win. Cause I'm a cock, and I hope he fucks her good. In a way I wish I could.
2 months after that, in a video titled The Scariest Thing from My Childhood, Charlie shows off an incredibly uncanny doll of himself.
Look at this. This used to haunt the toy closet of my childhood. This doll is of me. Here's a reference picture that it's kind of based on. So my mom got this made to look like me when I was 4 years old or something like that. And then she put it in my toy closet. And every time, I was afraid to go to the fucking top shelf because this is where this dude was residing. That was his domain. Those toys never got fucking touched. There were spider webs on that shit because this thing was just scaring me. And I don't mean to say it right in front of him, but it was fucking terrifying. It still is. It's a scary doll. I don't know what the fuck my mom was thinking. Even getting him was scary because my mom found him today. And then my dog went ballistic barking at him as I went over to get him. And that doesn't happen. That's like straight out of a fucking every generic horror movie ever where the dog's barking at the evil thing. So this whole adventure through this childhood scary item has been truly unnerving. It's a little early for Halloween, but I hope this hasn't spooked you out too hard. And that's about it. See ya. Jesus Christ, even just doing that just felt weird. I don't know, this doll thing, I don't have like a fear of dolls or anything, but there's just something about this one that just... It's scary. I don't know, man. But yeah, again, that's it. See ya. No waving from the doll this time. Just normal sign off. See ya.
At some point in 2019, I can't really find an exact date, he helped start Human Media Group due to his history with terrible content networks. The description on their official website puts it much better than I could. It all started with 2 childhood friends. Both fell in love with gaming in WoW's heyday. One started posting videos on YouTube, the other just kept gaming for the fun of it. 10 years later, Charlie, Moist Critical, had millions of subscribers and spent his time doing what he loved, creating content. What he didn't love, business, contracts, etc., was draining and boring. Lucky for him, his childhood friend Matt was not only a gamer, but a business nerd. What Charlie hated most is what Matt loved. Charlie asked Matt to help him out with the boring stuff. Within weeks, Matt learned 2 things. Charlie was being taken advantage of by his network, and the contracts he was signing were far from fair. That's when Matt and Charlie started Human Media Group with one simple goal: help creators all with the boring stuff they hate, while always putting their interests before anything else. Later on in 2020, Charlie spends $200 on an obvious scam game on Steam.
Hotline Miami clone boring. $200 for Super Fight? What? LGE, you've lost your goddamn mind. Oh, but wait a minute. This kind of looks like it's worth $200. Do it. Fuck that. I'm not gonna spend $200 for a fucking joke like this. I will now be the first man in the world to have spent $200 on Super Fight. Fuck yeah. I have a very strong feeling the game's about to roll credits on me. I'm beating up the Guitar Hero 3 default character, and I feel like after a few more of these, the game's just gonna end. That about covers that, I'd say. But I will say, this man is not a liar. In this retro-style game, I could use fist and leg attack, so...
In June, during the online content creator chess tournament known as PogChamps, Charlie would humiliate XQC live by checkmating him in only 6 moves.
I don't actually know. I think Charlie has been maybe looking at the Sicilian defense is my guess, but I don't actually. Okay, plays the E5. Okay, so XQC is going to get his Scotch opening here. I think. Let's watch. Let's see.
All right. And if he does get it, then he will be familiar. So he's probably pretty happy to have seen E5. I think C5 may have put him a bit less in his comfort zone.
Right. I think E5, E4, E5 is what a lot of players like to play. And here we go. We get the Scotch opening. So XUC is very comfortable. I think this is the main opening he's been playing a lot. Okay, now Moist Critical plays Bishop C5, which is not a move that I like here. The system is completely fine at an advanced level. I'm worried about the plans and the process here, because when you bring out the bishop like this, it can become very vulnerable right away. So I'm not sure that I like the variational approach here.
No, please don't. And it's too soon. It's too soon, Hikaru. We didn't even reach a climax. You know, when I said it'd be fun to see a checkmate in 4 earlier, I was joking. It wasn't real.
2 days later, he would drop a beautifully animated music video for his song Skynut, animated by Sikowski Studios. The song, of course, being about robots that use human semen as fuel.
Humanity overrun. The night is darkest before dawn. Here they come to cage us.
Next month, he would complete his first tier list, listing off infamous Karens featured in viral videos. He would later go on to name this series Liquid Ladder.
We've had so many incredible postmenopausal women melting down in public recently in spectacular fashion, all captured on video, and they're all great. But who are the best? And that's what I'm here today to answer. I'm the only man on this planet qualified to accurately gauge these power levels and put them in their proper tiers, so let's just get right into it. Now, starting us off, we have the horror movie Karen here, the ghost-type Pokemon. This is a haunted Karen, and I'll put clips of each of these Karens just to refresh your memory on who these characters are in the Karen lore and extended universe.
Hi, I'm asking you if this is your property.
Why are you asking?
Because
it's private property.
Because it's private property,
So,
sir.
are you,
We
but
do.
not on people's property.
Okay. Absolutely.
Sure.
Just respectfully.
Sure.
This is who I imagine greets you at the gates of hell. Like right before you cross the threshold over molten rock, she's like sitting behind the desk like some kind of angry librarian and welcoming you aboard.
In September, he would make a cameo in the Killer Bean series.
Many of you know me for my standout role in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, where I was the glue that held that plot together. I was basically the foundation for all Hunger Games, many would argue. I of course played the iconic character, unnamed, uncredited doctor's assistant in District 8 Hospital shortly before the hospital was blown up, with a noble sacrifice the likes of which the cinema hasn't seen since, an emotional journey with my character that some viewers are still losing sleep over. Many of you know Killer Bean is coming back as an episodic adventure, and the first episode just dropped, where I play a character named Kessler. Kessler is a major character, some would argue even more powerful than Killer Bean himself, and god damn it, I breathe life into that character. I put my whole asshole on the line for this one, on full display. I give you all kinds of emotions, a wide array of emotions. You can really feel the range of my voice acting abilities in just a single episode. Ravage, my children, ravage!
Where are you, Kessler?
You're too late, Killer Bean. I'm in my bathroom bunker now. It's got a 4-inch thick solid steel door surrounded by 8-inch thick concrete walls. No explosive can get through this. And guess what? I'm not coming out for a long time. You wanna know why? Because I have a 6-month supply of food and water, a secure power line that is impossible to disconnect, and a 4K TV loaded up with every streaming app you can imagine. Oh, and a working toilet. So I'm never coming out, Killer Bean, and you're never getting in here.
At the end of the month, during the video The Worst Toy Ever Made, while reviewing something called the Cutesy Slime Surprise Unicorn, this happened.
Now we're ready to make unicorn slime.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo! We're making a unicorn take a shit. Woohoo! This is what fun is about, baby. God, I'm getting excited just watching the tutorial.
This would become a huge viral meme and start the Moistverse. Hundreds of variations of the meme were posted and it soon became a worldwide phenomenon.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I'm waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Hey, what's up? This is Attorney Moist Critical, conducting this parody under fair use and within all applicable state and federal laws. Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for! That's what it's all about! Woo! Yeah, that's about it. See ya.
A month after this, he would live stream Among Us with creators like Hassan, Pokimane, Cr1tikal, and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of all people.
Charlie, do you have anything to say?
About what?
The fact that I saw you kill Lupo on cams.
Whoa, that's a weird call because I just ran by you at top left.
That's crazy because you were running back up from killing Lupo and you ran by me, and I'm so glad that your kill cooldown was happening so that way I didn't need to get murdered.
I don't understand the call.
I mean, I literally saw you on cams.
I just went skip.
Vote early, vote early.
Mail it in.
Damn it!
To close off October, Charlie shows us his acting chops once again with his role as Officer Greg in the Halloween thriller Last of the Grads.
Above A-list, there exists another higher level of actor. This is the S-tier, S-list actors, which is composed of only 2 people, Brendan Fraser and myself.
I really don't think those kids should be alone in that high school.
What do you want to do? Shut it down?
What the fuck happened to you, Greg? You cry when it rains. You cry when it doesn't rain. You cry when you're dreaming. You cry when you're awake. Shit.
I already know what you're thinking. Holy shit, was that even Charlie on screen? I thought I was watching an actual officer on duty going through some traumatic experiences, and just know, it was me, and that's called acting.
Later on, after seeing that Belle Delphine achieved the world record for most sex toys, jealousy struck, and Charlie accepted the challenge to beat her.
God damn it! Fuck! Today, there was a declaration of war. Belle Delphine challenged me personally to a battle of sex toys. I was on Twitter and I saw this post come up, and I had to do a fucking double take. I thought my Moby Huge had been stolen from me. I thought I was burglarized by Miss Delphine. But as it turns out, she's just trying to get the world record for most sex toys, and I couldn't help but laugh. I said, oh, what on earth? What is this? Is this some kind of joke? Coming for the world record for largest collection of sex toys while knowing full well that I'm the preeminent expert in the field of sex toy collecting, I'm a fine art collector of such items. I thought it was delusion or perhaps like a psychosis episode she was suffering from, but it turns out she's taking it very seriously. So, as such, I'll take it seriously as well. So I brought out my 2 friends here. I'm the only man on Earth that has 2 Moby Huges in his collection, mind you. At least the only documented human being to achieve such a feat. So I'd also like to add that while hoisting these Moby Huges over my shoulders and effortlessly walking them into my dojo of dildos, this was in total 140 pounds worth of penis and nutsack. I weighed them individually. Both one is roughly 70 pounds of pure wiener and ball action, and I was able to just bazooka them over my arms here on my shoulders, and I do believe that that is a world record. No one has ever hoisted 2 Moby Huges like that and did a strongman carry for that distance, which was probably, what, from my door to here, about 50 yards worth of carrying the penis around. So just a casual world record I was able to get here. I'm already coming out here flexing a little bit, letting you know how seriously I'm taking this challenge, so allow me to slip into something a little bit more comfortable. I know that I'm known as mainly the dildo and fleshlight guy and things to put in your butthole, but I've got everything. If I open that closet behind me, your eyes would fucking melt, like in that Indiana Jones scene where they open the crypt and like all the fucking skin and everything blasts off their face. That's what would happen if I opened that closet.
Mr. Krabs overdoses on ketamine and dies is a single-player action game where you play as Mr. Krabs from the television show SpongeBob trying to defeat his crippling ketamine addiction. On December 6th, Charlie would begin his long documented speedrunning journey with this game, eventually becoming #1 in the world.
Huge ketamine pickup. We're all, well, fuck. Beautiful clip though. Okay, alright. We're making up time. I'm going full goofy goober mode on him now. The hash slinging. The ass slinging. The ass fucking Mr. Krabs. Yeah, baby. Pretty good.
Mr. Krabs, you are finally here.
Not bad for my second run. Alright, well the final cutscene has either completely stopped working, been removed from the game, or my computer just can't handle this level of ketamine. It just will not let me see the final fucking cutscene. Like a well-oiled machine. A well-oiled ketamine machine, baby. Let's get it.
In January of the new year, we get to see his artistic talent as he presents to us an incredible picture of his father.
Now, unfortunately, I don't have any of the 3D models I worked on back then anymore. I just don't have the files, but luckily my mother kept all of the actual physical art pieces that I've made, and honestly, it should be a crime that she even kept them. They're so fucking bad. But I'd like to take you on a tour through them. So, as you can probably guess, this is me. The resemblance is uncanny. This was my first self-portrait I did in the figure drawing course, and you can see just with each stroke of the pencil that I was able to just really capture a different, beautiful aspect of my figure here. I mean, it's like looking in a mirror, honestly. And trust me, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I only got better from there. Here's I'm sure you can immediately tell who this is. It goes without saying, I don't even need to tell you who this is. This is my dad, as I'm sure you immediately guessed upon seeing it. You're like, oh, that's Charlie's dad. That's Mr. White. The pose I was able to really nail here. This was he was sitting in his chair, and I decided to capture the moment because I was like, wow, that's powerful, Dad. You're looking real profound right now, real sophisticated. Stay right there and let me draw you. Let me sketch you out. And this is how it came out. And he's like, wow, Charlie, why are we even sending you to college? You've already mastered the art. Wow.
Later on in the month, he would reveal his next project, an interactive game show with Twitch streamer Ludwig called Hive Mind, where 4 contestants are given a question and they have to guess what the audience watching would answer.
I think the obvious ones here, Mario parties, maybe even Mario Kart, like if you do Mario Kart in the frat house. And look at Island over there, he's like channeling into another dimension. What is he saying?
Yeah, let's do it. We gotta listen to Island.
There's no way. Or is it Among Us? Oh, it could be either. Wait, what are you guys voting for? Mario,
I've never seen
I know for a fact, Mario Party, 100%.
Like he's looking at a Pokemon card get ripped and he's going into why it should be a crime punishable by death.
That might be a fan favorite pick, right? So this is the answer is what's voted by the community. So there's no like answer you can just look up and just like the answer. It's just whatever's voted.
Mario Party.
Yeah, that's gotta be a big one up there, no doubt.
Yeah.
I heard Island talking about it. He deliberated.
Oh no.
Mario Party
number 5.
What in the fake news is this?
In June of that year, we get a lore drop as Charlie tells us why he always wears white shirts.
A lot of you have picked up on a very subtle detail about me, and it's the fact that I typically wear white t-shirts. And I've never really gone too deep into why, or the genesis of this white t-shirt only movement for fashion. So I figured I'd do that today. This will come as a shock to most of you watching this, and it might even sound blasphemous, but I don't only own white t-shirts. I have tons of other shirts, from black to green, some gray shirts. I even have some wacky blue ones too. I have a really cool mummy shirt that I got from Universal when I was younger, and I think that's even brown. So I have a lot of different colors, the entire color spectrum, in fact, in my closet. It's just, when I'm making videos or I'm just at home, or if I'm going to like the movies or to jerk off in the movie theater bathroom or something, I'm always just wearing a white shirt because it's convenient. I have a ton of them and I get them in bulk at Walmart. I know most of you look at me like a cartoon character because I'm always wearing the same shit, but I really do have other clothes that I just don't often wear. Now it's time for the biggest reveal of 2021. I know the government just declassified a ton of UFO shit, but that is meaningless in comparison to what I'm about to show you. I'm going to show you my pile of white t-shirts in my closet so you can see exactly how many white t-shirts I have in storage here in my Fort Knox. Bingo bango, look at that. That's better than finding a pile of diamonds. Oh my god, it's beautiful. It's right around 40 white t-shirts, and I imagine this is significantly less than you probably thought I had.
1 month later, in the video, Biggest Thing I've Ever Done, his new comic book God Slap is announced.
It's called God Slap, and in its current form, it's a comic book. A comic book so good it damn near brought Stan Lee back to life, just so that way he could have the chance to read it. God Slap is a story that combines my love of slapping with my love of outrageous, over-the-top, nuts-to-butts action and gore, and just marries them in this universe that you won't help but fall in love with. It's so powerful and moving, your parents might get back together if they're divorced. Godslap actually started between Jackson and I. We were just pitching stupid ideas back and forth and just spitballing dumb shit, and I have a lot of dumb ideas for a video. Like one of them I had recently was wearing a Kevlar vest and then shooting myself with a real gun just to see what it'd feel like. Kind of like what the actual creator of Kevlar does every year as a demonstration. And then after my friends talked me out of the dumbest fucking idea I've ever had, I eventually pitched Jackson on a anime where slapping was the main draw. And he liked that, so we started going back and forth, and then we brought Matt and Danny in, who also liked it, so we just kept building together and eventually created what ultimately became God Slap.
In what he calls the worst day of 2021, we're told the story of how Charlie was terrorized while vulnerable in the bathroom.
This story starts like any other war story you'd ever been told. I was taking a shit, and I'd let my guard down because people are most vulnerable when they're shitting, you know, pissing or shitting, but shitting more so because you're sitting down stationary and you're at the mercy of nature at that point. So I was defecating, and I got ambushed. I got fucking attacked, but not by man nor machine, something much more terrifying. An insect. A killer insect. A wasp. This is the second worst thing I could have been faced with, second only to a cockroach. A wasp wasn't just buzzing around me trying to scare me or put the fear of God in me or anything. It was a wasp that had a coordinated assault plan drawn out. This wasp fucking flew in sideways, drifted right onto my right ass cheek, and started crawling towards my hole. I saw it at the corner of my eye, but I actually thought it was just my long hair because I was watching a video on my phone, so my hair was in front of me. So off of my peripheral vision, I thought it was just my hair that was kind of getting blown by the air that sucks out stink, the stinky air sucker, whatever that's called, the ventilation system. So I didn't think anything of it, but then it lands on my right ass cheek, and I'm like, well, that's a little weird. So I look down, and there I see him. I lock eyes with this bitch. This little bastard knows exactly what he's doing. He picked the perfect moment to strike. I am mid-shit right now. There is a loaf that I am trying to pinch, and it is still in the station. I am still carrying this cargo, and it has not been dropped off yet. So I can't do anything. I'm defenseless right now. All I can do is just wiggle, try and fucking hips don't lie the guy off of me, so I'm just shaking violently, hoping that the earthquake will scare him away and get off my ass cheek, giving me time to finish shitting and then attack myself for a counterplay. I was faced with two very difficult choices right here. This was the Gordian knot that I had to cut. I either stand up and I shit on the floor because, again, the shit is still in my butthole. It hasn't been, you know, completely severed. The umbilical cord is still there. So I either stand up to attack this guy and shit all over myself and the floor, or I sit here, grit my teeth, give some gyrations to try and stagger him, and just pray that this is enough to scare him or at least make him, you know, rethink his plan here. but it's not. He has been very well trained. This is a seasoned veteran here. It's like the John Wick of wasps. I'm over here shaking and squealing and screeching like a prisoner here, just begging for the torture to stop. And he's taking this opportunity to progress further. He is crawling as fast as he can down my ass cheek, trying to get to my asshole. It was then at this point that I realized what his mission was. The hole was the goal. He was trying to get into my rectum. God only knows what kind of havoc he wanted to reach once he got there, but this is when panic really set in. I fucking shook side to side like a kaiju trying to like break out of chains that puny humans put on it. So I'm fucking shaking, and eventually my shit breaks free, which sends me straight up off the toilet. I was like, oh my god, finally, the shackles have been lifted. So I spring up off of the toilet as this wasp is approaching closer to the finish line, going for the touchdown. My chocolate starfish is in jeopardy. I'm fucking panicked, so I shoot up off the toilet. This makes the wasp fall down onto the toilet seat because this was a huge motion. Like, I went really quick, and no doubt it was traveling at speeds that my body's never seen before. So I shoot up, he falls down onto the toilet seat, and I sprint out of the bathroom. There was nothing in the bathroom for me to use as a weapon. I'd already analyzed the terrain. The only thing I had there was a Manscaped razor, so unless I wanted to shave his pubes, I wasn't exactly going to be able to kill him with that.
After this, being a huge fan of esports, he took notice of a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate player by the name of Cola. Since Cola wasn't signed by any professional organization, he agreed to be part of the hypothetical league Moist Esports. After Cola would go on to win the Smash tournament, Charlie then took it upon himself to start Moist Esports for real.
Competing is in my DNA. Winning is in my blood. They say the human body is mainly composed of water, but not for me. My body is mainly composed of athlete juice. And you may also remember during these tournaments, we had a raid boss that would come by, this fucking boogeyman that would come through and stomp. He won like 3 of the tournaments that I hosted. His name is Cola. And he's not just a monster online. Offline, he's an absolute menace. This man will come around and piss in your cereal bowl, and you'll say thank you, just out of pure respect for him, because he's nutty at Smash. And there's a huge tournament coming around called Smash Summit. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of that, because there's a Melee Summit as well, which just wrapped up. It's huge. And this is the biggest that it gets for Ultimate, and Cola has been nominated to participate in it. So Cola had been nominated, but hadn't been receiving as many votes as the other participants, which is shocking to me considering he's like the main character of competitive Smash Ultimate. And that's when the neurons really started firing. I thought back to the many conversations I had with Matt and the boys about starting an esports org, and all the times we'd come up with the dumbest fucking names that just sounded like shitty porn titles, like Gushing Grannies Esports and shit like that. And we'd always talked about it kind of as a joke, but as something we'd really love to do at some point in the future. But then when Cola reached out, I started to wonder, could this work here? Without a stupid title like Mommy's Squirters 15 or something. Like, if we were to put a name on it, would Cola be willing to rep this brand new esports idea that we'd have? So I asked him, like, yeah, I'd absolutely love to help you out. I think it's a crime that you're not in it right now, and I'd love to help out in any way I can. But would you be interested in repping Moist Esports, if that's what we'd call it? And he said, yeah, absolutely. And thus, Moist Esports was born.
On September 5th, he released what would... Actually, you know what? Hold on. Hi everyone, Butthany Cheek Tano here, the internet's laziest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the Gentleman's 10-track debut album, The Evolution of Tears. Well, up to this point, we've heard most of their songs as they've all gotten videos, but they've actually dropped some new tracks on this album. Now, comedy records don't usually get the respect they deserve unless you're one of the big players in the game, like Tenacious D, Steel Panther, Weird Al. But with the heavy crushing guitar tones that Troy brings from his other projects Soul State, and lyricism by Charlie, despite never meeting in person, they combine forces to create an album that's fucking amazing. Not only is it a good comedy record, it's a good record in its own standing. The first song off this album is Your Boyfriend Doesn't Scare Me, a track featuring metal guitarist K-Mac 2021. The next two songs, 2019 Guy and Skynut, we've already heard before, but leading into Perfect Oblivion, the next track, a rock ballad about doing drugs, fucking, and pretty much living the rock lifestyle. Afterwards, we get Obsession, a song about parasocial relationships, mostly on Twitch. The bridge of the song is even a direct homage to Amaranth, a Twitch streamer in which, well, Let's just say one of her mods found out she had a husband and didn't like that too much. Halfway through the album, we get a track by Charlie narrating a story about an immortal woman, kind of akin to fire coming out of the monkey's head from Gorilla's Demon Days. After that, we're treated to I Am Truth, a fast-paced metal song about conspiracy theories. The next track, 2004 Breakup, is about, well, breaking up at a time where it was cool to be edgy. Real to Me follows this up by being a slower rock jam about falling in love with an anime girl and becoming hostile to anybody who doesn't like it. The album ends with Here's to Us, a very slow acoustic rock ballad about breaking up, and I'll be honest, I don't know if it was my headspace or what, but first time I heard this song, I was tearing up. The goosebumps really start coming in strong once you get to the chorus, and Troy starts belting out about a relationship where he knows it won't work, but the pain is worth it anyway. All the songs come together in such a cohesive manner that despite being many genres of rock and shit. But really, all in all, despite being a comedy record, it actually goes really fucking hard. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Transition. Mid-October comes around and Charlie shows off his trading card collection, and it's actually pretty impressive.
I used to be an addict. I wasn't addicted to like heroin or crack or anything like that. I was addicted to something far cooler. Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and Pokemon cards by extension. Basically just shiny cardboard. It just triggered so much dopamine in my caveman brain, I just loved it. To me, it just didn't make sense to get addicted to drugs when trading cards exist. Meth is temporary, but Yu-Gi-Oh is forever. So let's start with what collectors consider the holy grail of Yu-Gi-Oh collecting, Legend of Blue Eyes First Edition. Also, you can see my reflection in the frames here, so don't be alarmed, I'm well aware here. Look like a fucking photo of Sasquatch in the background. And if you see a semi-chub start to rise, don't worry, that's just how I get when I look at these Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So of course you got the Dark Magician and the Blue Eyes being the most coveted. That little naughty girl is a PSA 10, goes for like 100 grand or something absurd. Then you got the full Exodia set with Monster Reborn as the penis there, a little creative artistic liberty from Charles, and then the two secret rares at the bottom. Now let me show you my favorite frame here. This is the Ghost Rare frame. Every single Ghost Rare ever printed exists in this beautiful sarcophagus. That includes the Rainbow Dragon misprint from Tactical Evolution. Often considered the rarest misprint in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! I was able to snatch this bad boy up about a year ago off an eBay seller who I'm pretty sure just took it from their child's toy box. So that was lucky, and that kid's Christmas is ruined for sure, but I'm pretty happy about it.
In November, we get a look at Charlie's first foray into fashion with what else but a white t-shirt.
Moist.
A month after this, we get told the story of how a Facebook meme led to some uninformed boomers think that Charlie and Jesus were one and the same.
So for about 2 years now, people have made the same joke about me, saying I look like Jesus. Charlie looks like Jesus. Hey Charles, really appreciate the time you forgave all of us for our sins. Takes a big man to do that. Fist bump. Shit like that. And they also used to say I look like Keanu Reeves, which I always took as a compliment because I love Keanu Reeves. I'd suck a fart out of his butt. So it all started a couple months ago when this Facebook page was made. Over the last couple months, a lot of people sent me this page and asked if this was legitimate or if they're impersonating me or if my content was stolen. No, I gave this group full permission to make this Facebook page. I said they could do whatever they want with my content and post it on Facebook. Totally fine by me. And they've done a great job. I'm never on Facebook. The only time I ever go on Facebook is to read comments from desperately horny dudes trying to get laid. So they'll leave comments on girls' pictures all the time saying weird shit like, "Can I see your boobs? Do those boobs milk?" and "bitch lasagna." Other than that, I just never go on the platform. So I just told this group that they're welcome to do anything they want over there. Get wild with it if they'd like. And wild they did get. They made a post, this naughty little picture right here, and it set the Facebook mom and grandma community on fire for about a day. It's clearly a playoff of those silly things you see on Instagram and Facebook where it's like just a picture of a Bible they got from Google Images, and then it just says if you scroll past this you go to hell. Updoot and you go to heaven and win $1 million tomorrow. And that shit usually flops, no one ever really engages with it, but for some reason this one popped off in like the 50-plus-year-old mom and grandma category.
9 days after that, a bounty was put in place. $25,000 if someone were to locate any archive of Charlie's past deleted videos that he regrets getting rid of.
People always say be careful what you post online because once it's on the internet, it lasts forever. And that's just an outright lie, but I wish it were true. On this channel, I started by posting Gears of War montages, Halo 3 content, Machinima's Call of Duty 4 content, glitches, I even formed my own glitching clan. I posted hundreds upon hundreds of videos onto this channel, probably between 500 and 1,000 videos from 2007 to 2010. And then in 2010, I deleted almost all of them. I fucking purged it. Which is why if you look at my oldest videos now, there's only like 20 of them from 2007 to 2010. But back before I burned down the Library of Alexandria, there was mountains of them. So that brings me to the point of this video. I'm issuing what I believe to be an impossible challenge to the entire internet here. I know everyone loves lost media. That's become a pretty big thing online, and I keep up with lost media content. So I'm just going to issue this challenge and put a bounty on it for anyone out there. If you can find those videos somehow and re-upload them onto YouTube for me to watch, I will pay you for it. If you find most of them, which is probably about 500, I'll give you 25 grand. But I will also pay on a video by video basis if you can find even just a few of them that I've deleted. I am just kind of desperate to go on a nostalgia ride. I've been thinking about these videos for a while now because I really want to see that content I used to make. I put so much work into it for those years, daily working on it, and it's just a real shame that I deleted them.
At the end of January 2022, in a video titled Making My Mom Proud, we get a mom reveal, and we watch mother and son prepare good chicken.
And I decided to consult the best chef I've ever known, which is my mom. I asked her to teach me her forbidden chicken recipe. It's called Good Chicken. I named it when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and my mom's made it ever since.
Are you gonna do this?
Not tonight.
Oh, I'm doing it?
Yeah. So simple, someone as stupid as me couldn't fuck this one up, or at least you would hope.
I was also going to talk about the packaging here. Like, what the fuck is going on with the Ziploc?
She labeled them.
I love this.
So that way I wouldn't get confused.
This is so he doesn't get salmonella.
While streaming Elden Ring on the 5th of March, he would again be viciously attacked by a wasp in the middle of a boss battle.
If it wasn't for my extensive training and black belt in Taekwondo I got when I was 12 years old, I might not have survived. Last night at approximately 11:30 p.m., I was the victim of a senseless attack. It all happened on stream, no less. At twitch.tv/moistcritical. I stream every day. Please feel free to stop in and put a few extra inches on your penis. I was blasting through Elden Ring and was fighting a new boss. He was pretty difficult, named Commander Nile, but nothing out of the ordinary, just business as usual. And there I sat on my throne of swamp ass in a really good run. I had the boss down to like the last 3 or so hits. And out of nowhere, a fucking terrorist wasp comes in and attempts to do harm. That was very close. God damn.
No, not now! No, there's a wasp! Ah, fuck! Not like this! Ah! Ah! Oh, God, please, fuck it! Ah!
Luckily, I maintained my cool and didn't panic, so I was able to not only defeat the boss, but was able to evacuate the area just in case the Wasp called for reinforcements.
8 days after the brutal bug battle in I've Never Won Anything, the Moistverse shines through to accept a victory at the Streamer Awards, winning Best Variety Streamer.
However, last night, the curse of Turbo shitty award shows was finally broken. Popular streamer QT Cinderella and her team put together something called the Streamer Awards. They've been working on it for months, and last night, it happened.
Charlie and Charlie.
Yeah!
So much. Yeah, we're just so excited to be here. It feels like GTA 6 just got announced, but it didn't. And I'm just so excited. I haven't been this excited since Belle Delphine announced that she was doing hardcore. I watched that the day it came out, and I've watched it every day since, and I just want to say thank you so much for having us here. Charlie, you got anything you want to say?
We make videos 3 times a day and 7 days a week, so... How did this happen?
Yeah, well, we do 21 videos a week, so you need a higher production rate to get that many videos out. So I cloned him harder than fucking Jeff Goldblum and made that fly. You know, he combined into the fly. Yeah. We kind of did that, but with my DNA, and it resulted in a lot of Charlies. We currently have 7. We're hoping to have 8 by the end of the week.
Yeah, kind of like in Naruto, where he did the Kageboshi no Jutsu and he cloned himself 1,000,000 times. It's kind of like that, but there's just 2 of us today. Jeff Goldblum's the fly to Naruto, and that's range you can expect from Charlie. Thank you so much for
Thanks, Charlie.
JHB.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go. If we win and they have to give a speech, I'm going nuts. Let's fucking go! I hope they prepared a speech. Let's fucking go!
Oh my god, here he is.
Let's fucking get it. Oh, I hope it's a banger. If he doesn't mention The Mummy or Men in Black, the animated series, then he utterly failed. Then he blew it.
I feel like I just pulled a PSA 10 first edition Charizard baseless shadowless while Belle Delphine was playing with my nipples and Nico Kato Avocado was licking my asshole. I just want to say thank you guys so much for this. I want to thank the Moist Critical team, Charlie, and Charlie. And I just want to say this is the best thing that's happened since Netflix got rid of cuties. It's the best thing that's happened to my life since I first got my first Moby Huge and sat on it for 24 hours straight. I just want you guys to know that this means the world to me. And I feel like Thanos snapped away half my sadness, and the remaining half is just going to stay with me and make me a happier, more complete person, and I will grow. So with that all said, I just want to say, woo, yeah, baby!
That was the best goddamn speech of all time. Easy dubs.
2 months later, Charlie would host Creator Clash, and if you want to know more about that, I have a video on it. Hooray, self-promotion! For real though, the link is in the description, check it out. At the end of the month of May, in his video, Look at This, he shows off a kitten that he adopted named Io.
I haven't brought this up on YouTube, but if you watch my Twitch streams, I'm sure you've seen the kitty that's been staying with me. I kind of said that in a really weird way. It's not like the cat is a roommate of mine that I'm charging rent for to stay here. It's a cat that was left behind with a box of other kitties outside of Tiana's work. She works as a vet tech, and one night about 3 weeks ago, someone just left behind a big box of brand new, fresh newborn kittens, and we decided to take one of them and nurse it back to health. And I've been breastfeeding that kitty ever since. Yep, it's a pretty fucked up looking dog. Someone in the comments pointed out that I talk about the cat like I'm about to review it and give it a rating on the moist meter, which is pretty accurate. I'd give it like a 95%. The cat's super adorable.
To start off June, we're treated to another Sikowski Studios production, this one being an animated preview of the God Slap comic. Later in the month, Charlie comes up with what he calls the hardest challenge in gaming that no one has completed, a Halo 2 Lasso No Envy run. If you don't understand all that gamer jargon, basically it amounts to playing the game on the hardest difficulty, you die in one hit, you have no crosshair, the enemies have aimbot, and if you do die, you have to start from the beginning.
There's 7 billion people on this planet, and every single one of them is a gamer. So the competition's pretty fierce. There's a lot of greasy gladiators out there that are ready to do battle. So being the first to do something is tough, and being the only person to do something, that's damn near impossible. I searched for a long time to find the hardest, most challenging gaming-related accomplishments ever. And in all instances I found there were multiple people to pull the specific task off. And I didn't want to get into like the real weeds of it where it's really niche titles, only like 5 people playing it. Like that's kind of cheating because technically even I fall into that category where I was the first and only person to beat Super Fight because I was the only asshole stupid enough to spend $200 on a 30-second Steam game. Halo 2 has something called skulls. Skulls are gameplay modifiers that can make the game significantly harder, and there's 15 of them. Lasso stands for Legendary All Skulls On. So you play Halo 2 on Legendary, which is the highest difficulty, which is already really hard in Halo 2 because the Jackals have aimbot and you die in one shot, and you turn on all the skulls, which do things like make the enemies invisible, make it so if you die you restart the whole level, making it so you no longer have a HUD or reticle so you're playing blind. One of them gives the enemies more health, one of them makes them significantly more aware so that way they have like a perpetual fucking UAV in the air and know where you are at all times. Just like crazy tough wacky shit. And most mortals can't complete Halo 2 Lasso no matter what. Even if they like pop the genie out of the lamp and beg them for it, they just couldn't grant that wish because it's just that hard. Most people can't do it. But there is one challenge even harder, and it's also in Halo 2. So Halo 2 Anniversary, or Halo 2 in the Master Chief Collection, has a playlist called Lasso. And the difference between that and normal Lasso is there's one skull they don't turn on. It's called Envy. The Envy skull in Halo 2 actually isn't a detriment, it's a huge help, and it's actually the #1 thing Jervalin relies on in his run. The Envy skull makes it so when you turn on the flashlight, you go invisible. So you're able to set a lot of certain things up as well as use some very intricate routes to avoid conflict and get certain things done. The Envy Skull is huge and it's what made the Deathless run possible and what makes Lasso possible for a lot of people as well. But in the Halo 2 Anniversary playlist for Lasso, that skull is turned off. So you can't use it. And I've looked everywhere online. I got the goddamn magnifying glass out, turning over every rock, every website to see if there is any lunatic out there that has successfully done a deathless run of the Halo 2 Lasso playlist. Or even outside of the playlist, Halo 2 Lasso without Envy. So every skull but Envy. And I found nobody who has successfully completed it. And I actually haven't found anyone that's even been close to it either.
Next month, the rumors would be addressed over skipping leg day.
I hopped on Reddit and discovered that I'm being cooked like a Thanksgiving turkey right now. It all started with this post. It's a screenshot from a comment on a video I made over a year ago that says, "Charlie looks like when Deadpool gets torn in half and he grows back a baby's bottom half." And then in the comments, they all start dogpiling on me. I'm getting attacked from all sides. I'm surrounded. But you know what? It's like Hulk Hogan said. Hulkmania's gonna run wild anyway, brother. Okay, yes sir. I'd never tear a shirt this high quality. This is a moist white tee from moistglobal.com. So that's the reason it didn't tear. You couldn't tear this thing apart with a fucking chainsaw. It's so well made. So that's what happened there. And you know, I think I know you think you're so tough from behind your keyboard, talking that shit. But you wouldn't say it to me on the playground. Yeah, but anyway, let's get into why they're wrong and my legs don't look like baby legs. So I think it's pretty clear here that the comment section doesn't understand light refraction. So as we all know, light refracts whenever it travels at an angle into a substance with a different refractive index. This is called optical density. And what's gone on here is it's around 6 p.m., maybe 6:30 p.m. The sun's starting to go down a little bit. So the light's bending in all kinds of weird ways as we know it to do around that time frame. And what's happening here is as it's entering in through that glass door, it's bending around my legs, and as I'm doing this pull-up, I'm very slightly leaning forward a bit, so it's changing the angle of azimuth. And when the picture was taken, the aperture was all over the place as well. We didn't set it up properly. It's kind of like when you look at a helicopter blade and the shutter speed matches the blade speed, and it looks like the helicopter's blades aren't even spinning. That's what's happening here with my legs. So it's just causing all kinds of optical density problems. I'm giving you OnlyFans content for free right now, but look at these fucking thighs. I can crush 15 watermelons in between these tree trunks. And let's not forget about the calves. Take a peek at these sledgehammers. My god, looking like two fucking pristine filet mignons.
On August 4th, the lasso challenge was beaten.
As of August 3rd, it has been done. Yesterday, history was made. My birthday was August 2nd, and on August 3rd, a Twitch streamer by the name of Jervalen gave me a late birthday present of an empty wallet by squeezing 20 grand right out of my pockets and beating this challenge. Absolutely slapping it around with a god run. It was his first run of the day, and it went the distance.
Can you shoot, Johnson? Thank you.
Yes. Let's go!
There you go, chat.
That's it. I've never been so happy to lose 20 grand. That is so fucking huge. 18 years in the making.
In mid-December, during a chess boxing slap fight championship, Charlie tells us that he was offered the position to engage in a slap fight with Ludwig, which he, of course, declined.
I am the preeminent expert on slapping. And yesterday, Ludwig hosted a chess boxing event, which had a finale of chess slapping. Now, the sport's pretty self-explanatory. As advertised, you play a little chess, then you box against your opponent. So you play chess, then you stand up, beat ass, eat ass, sit back down, play some more chess. I was actually asked by Ludwig almost 8 months ago now if I'd be interested in having a slap fight with him for this very event. And you know what I said to him? I sat him down, I said, Ludwig, absolutely fucking not. You're out of your mind. I am a baby bitch when it comes to anything pain related. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I wouldn't engage in a combat sport with anyone over the age of 12. I would only feel confident slapping or fighting actual children because I wouldn't want to get hurt. And I am confident that I would have the reach on like a 12-year-old where I would just take no damage. So Ludwig is well above the age of 12, thus I won't fight him. Call me a pussy? That's fine, I agree. I have a very weak chin. If Ludwig even lightly hit me with a glancing fart, I probably would have been knocked out.
The beginning of 2023 saw a new kind of video from Charlie, a direct tribute to speedrunning YouTuber Summoning Salt. Based on the game Amok Runner, players were given 2 weeks to get the fastest time and were all documented to bring together a wonderfully styled video essay about it.
I'm sure you've seen by now, I put a $10,000 speedrun bounty on a game no one has ever played besides me. And it was an amazing experience. I want to go over the history of this speedrun competition. It lasted 2 weeks, and I'm pretty sure the stories will last a lifetime. Amok Runner, a name that'll go down in history as one of the finest creations of the modern age. Should humans ever go extinct, I hope the only thing we leave behind is a copy of this game. This is the speedrun world record history of the best speedrunning game ever discovered.
Jumping ahead to March, on the 14th, in the video Sneeko is Horrible, one of the most infamous clips of all time happened. Pun intended, because the terminology between clips and magazines becomes center stage in a play that is YouTuber drama. While I've said before that I absolutely hate YouTuber drama, I'll make an exception here because of the total evisceration that Sneeko gets.
You started shit with me by insulting me and my girlfriend out of nowhere, so naturally I responded by making fun of you in return and showcasing the reasons why I don't respect you. But unfortunately I failed to calculate just how much of a sensitive fucking loser you are, because this hurt your feelings to such a high degree it's become like an Armageddon in your brain. 3 months you have continued to melt down about this. The day after I posted my response, he went on stream and had a huge unhinged tantrum and meltdown about the whole thing, and then he sent some of his viewers over. So I was joking with them, saying like, oh, you guys must have just stopped the cuties watch party over there at Sneeko's stream, right? Welcome, cucks, that kind of shit. And it got really under his skin in a big way, so he started dancing around with the gun and threatening to come shoot me. So he kept saying, "Oh, you're in Tampa, right? I'll come see you," waving his gun around and dancing.
You wanna watch my clips? Watch my clips. Watch my clips. You want me to watch your clips? Watch my clips. These are the only clips I'm watching, you were?
Now, the reason he keeps saying watch my clips while threatening me here is because during the stream I couldn't watch him live because he just kept shouting slurs. So I said watch my clips to see what I was saying about you. I had to communicate via Twitch clips. And I'm sorry to be that guy, this is like the grammar police of guns, but he's a fucking imbecile, you absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are mags. They're mags, not clips, you absolute fucking dummy. The same way that this is also a mag. They're all mags. Stop saying clips, you look fucking stupid here.
Later on April 1st, there are no fools here because Charlie talks it out with Sneeko, and like adults, they decide to settle their beef.
The title is not a joke. I talked to Sneeko. And I gotta be honest, I had butterflies in my tummy. I was more excited to talk to him than I would be to talk to Santa Claus. Now, I know this will be coming as a shock to a lot of you, a bit of a jump scare, so I hope you're sitting down so it doesn't knock you off your feet. Sneeko and I have not been on the best of terms recently. We've tried our best to keep it a secret and handle it behind closed doors, but unfortunately, it's bled into the public eye, and I want to show you some clips from it. He actually asked me to record, so don't think that this was some kind of one-party consent thing where I pulled the wool over his eyes and pulled his fucking pants down to surprise him with a recording. He had actually asked me to, and I want to show you how this went, because it was actually a very interesting conversation we had. I want to tell you how we got there. It's because last night I noticed Sneeko was raving about cuties on Twitter yet again, talking about how much he loves it and how he'll always defend it, but then said that I wouldn't debate him on it. And this little nugget of cringe had me scratching the hair on my chin, confused. I wouldn't debate you on it. I would actually love to hear your side of things on how you could possibly excuse the blatant sexualization of the child actresses in the film. Now, I'm not a debater. I actually am not a fan of debates in general. I prefer just general conversations as opposed to these like gotcha and leading questions and traps and shit. I think that's not very conducive to actual understanding of different sides of arguments. So I don't debate, but I was very willing to have this conversation with Sneeko, and I reached out to talk to him, and he was more than willing to talk about it. So we did. I don't see how your message is somehow bolstered by spamming slurs, for example, like during that stream with the gun. I couldn't listen to you because you kept saying slurs. How is that necessarily helping make people happy or positive in any way, shape, or form? What does that do to contribute to your overall goal? Because it's not humor either, so it's not seeking truth through funny. It's literally just spamming slurs because you were mad at me.
It is. The reason that it's funny is because I'm on a platform that has free speech, and you're not bound by wokeness where you can't say certain words and you're labeled racist or homophobic or transphobic, where you can say things even if you don't mean them because we're not trapped with words.
But why say something you don't... Why say something you don't mean, though? What does that do? Wouldn't that go against your ideology where you're, like, faking it?
That's not a word. A word doesn't encourage... A word doesn't encompass a whole belief system. A word can be funny. The word is funny. That was the funniest thing you said this whole debate.
How is that? I don't.
You're laughing now. See?
Well, it's because it's just an outrageous claim.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
talking to a
It's
child.
outrageous.
Well,
You're
no, like
proving my point. It's
no.
outrageous. It's funny.
Your defense
This is
of
the
it.
first time we laughed this whole time. First time we laughed this whole thing.
This is
because of one little word.
Yes, because it's such a silly defense of it. It's like a child who hears fuck for the first time and he's like, "Woohoo, daddy said fuck." Like, things started to go a little goofy mode here, a little wacko style.
On the same day, in a stream, his new comic series Plague Seeker is announced.
The story boils down to 1,000 years ago, world gets hit by an asteroid called the Calamity. With it came post-apocalyptic setting, 70% of the world's population vaporized, but the remaining 30% all experience mutations. Some more than others, the closer they were to impact, the more mutated they become, resulting in plagues. At the very center of the impact survived 8 plagues, the Great Plagues. And they kind of control the whole planet, they rule it with an iron fist, they're all pretty revolting shit. I was heavily inspired by Berserk. So it's very clear there's a huge Berserk impact or influence throughout the entire series. Now, Plague Seeker follows a 9th plague that was actually born that day that no one knows about. He is cursed with an insatiable appetite to devour the other 8. So that's the whole premise. He's on a journey to devour the other 8 plagues. That's the whole thing in a nutshell.
Mid-April, we'd see our boy return as the host of Creator Clash once again for Creator Clash 2. And hey, if you haven't heard, I made a video on this. Check it out, fucker! Next month, the goal 17 years in the making was achieved. A maxed out account on RuneScape.
Thousands upon thousands of hours spent striving for one thing. To put that in perspective, I could have been a pilot like 5 times over with that amount of experience and time dedicated to this one field. The Roman Colosseum was built in 8 years. I could have built it twice with the amount of time I put into this. And now I've finally completed it. I caught my Moby Dick. RuneScape maxing. RuneScape is a game that's existed for over 20 years now, and I started playing it back around 2005 when I was in 4th grade. And I've, of course, taken breaks while playing RuneScape throughout the last 17 years, but the beauty of that game is you never quit, you just go on hiatus. You take a little half-time breather in order to recollect your sanity. So I haven't been 17 years straight working on it, but it has been a large part of what I've played over the last 17 years. 17 years in the making. 17 years! Oh! 50 years from now, my grandkids are going to look back at this stream moment and be like, yep, that was old Grandpappy. He did what everyone said was impossible. He fucking maxed in RuneScape like a month before they released a new skill, so he had to do it all over again and felt the pain all anew. But for that one brief, fleeting moment, he was on top of the world. Run it. We're maxed. We're maxed. We're fucking maxed. It's finally done. It's finally done. It's finally over.
At the end of June, to celebrate Gwyneth Paltrow's court victory, Charlie tests out Goop products, and it doesn't go well.
If you want to really show how it's done, you could use the pelvic clock on the table.
That's what I was just about to do, yeah.
They tell you what it fixes. So
Oh! What do you mean? Ah!
Where are you putting it?
On my ass, like a little over my ass.
Wait, sit up for a second so I can see where.
There.
Is this not right?
No, go a
down
little
there?
lower. It's got to be on your pelvis. Think where like your tail would
Oh,
be.
that's better.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She knows what she's doing.
No, that still hurts when I lean back.
All right, so we're going to start with pelvic rotations.
Okay.
These are 3 to 9 pelvic rotations. You've got 9 on a clock and 3 on a clock. So you're going to rotate there and then this way.
How far?
Just to 9.
Okay, is this 9?
Yep, and then come back. How's that feel?
Not good.
It says repeat 10 times.
You really need this, Charlie.
I think so too.
Matt, turn it off.
You just gotta.
Okay,
you just gotta
alright,
go
I'm
on.
going in. I didn't even read it.
There's bacteria, and you're using red to get rid of the epidermis.
You look like a Captain America villain.
A Captain America villain. I feel pretty good, actually.
Warnings: do not look directly into the lights.
Well.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Use
you
device
3 minutes.
only on clean, dry skin.
Oh.
So I'm glad we didn't put it on mine.
Okay, yeah, he would have died.
Ending the month of August, we see his next plan for interactive streaming, a claw machine in the background that viewers can play in order to win prizes.
Some astute observers amongst you may have noticed I've done a little redecorating to my exquisite dojo here. And I'd like to go into detail to explain everything, but before doing that I've got to ask you a question. What separates a weak man from a strong man? What's the difference? Is it the size of his muscles, the strength of his jawline, the brightness of his big toothy smile? How many grocery bags he can carry in one trip? No, friends. Those are all far too superficial. The strength of a man is determined by the quality of his energy drink, and I promise there is no energy formula better than GamerSupps. It is the top tier, optimal energy drink, which is why I now have this GamerSupps claw machine behind me now, because I am a strong man. So during streams when I'm doing like just chatting or going over wacky stories, I can have that claw machine running the entire time and allow some of the viewers to actually play it in real time. I thought this would actually be a really fun thing to do for everyone who's a member, a YouTube member to my streams. Big thanks to everyone who is a member. I thought this would be like a fun perk for it.
A month after this, on the channel Wired, he would sit down and answer the internet's most searched questions.
What is Moist Critical? A 5'6" hulking testosterone titan who makes a bunch of wacky, silly garbage on the internet. What does Moist Critical do for a living? I just post really ridiculous things on the internet and got lucky enough that it enables me to survive. What did Moist Critical do before YouTube? Nothing. I was 10 before YouTube. I didn't have a career or a job. I was still just snorting glue and drinking milk. I was just a baby boy. So I used to mow lawns for money, which probably isn't allowed with the child labor laws in America. What is Moist Critical email? Just criticalcontact@gmail. You're gonna have a hard time reaching me there. I did meet one of my best friends through email. His name's Kaya. He reached out a long time ago with a super sad message that really tickled my heartstrings. I replied back, we became good friends through it, but these days most people just sign me up for cult newsletters and a lot of other like really awful WebMD like hypochondriac bait. But you're welcome to send me something. I probably won't see it though. I'll just give it one of these.
On the 27th of October, the Gentlemen released another EP with 5 new tracks. Listen, I'm not gonna do the Fantano bit again. It's good, trust me. Especially the song Enemy. Shit rocks. Next month, a new podcast hosted by our man is posted, this time with cryptid and true crime YouTuber Wendigoon, The Red Thread. The show focuses on horror and cult elements and eventually would rise to the #1 spot in the true crime genre and the #2 spot across all genres.
Picture this. You're walking down a dark road at midnight, surrounded by the silhouettes of leafy trees rustling in the waning wind. The road ahead is lit only by the full moon above. Why are you walking this road at midnight on your own? That's only for you to know. Suddenly, out of what feels like nowhere, you come to a trestle across a stretch of river. The water is shallow, but in this light, you couldn't possibly tell. The bridge feels like your only way across. You check behind yourself for any trains, not even having ever been aware the small town you're visiting had any rail. You step across, step by step, over the metal tracks, a shiver on your spine as you reach the halfway point. The wind changes and your hair stands on end. Then from behind, seemingly impossibly, you hear the unmistakable bleating of a goat. At any other time, any other location, this would be endearing. Right now, it's terrifying. Too scared to turn around, you keep walking, hopeful that your imagination is playing a cruel trick on your senses. The noise, growing louder, is paired with footsteps now behind you. Or maybe they're your own footsteps you're hearing louder now, as you pick up your pace. Step by step, bleat by bleat, track by track, you push forward across the bridge, knowing that turning around isn't an option anymore.
Why is it not an option? It's just it's the sound of a goat. Like, it's not the most horrifying screech. Like, that wouldn't be super uncommon.
It would be scary. You'd be scared. You'd be scared. You'd be so scared. If you heard a goat
sound, I'd be like, no, it sounds about right.
At the end of November, Skill Check is released, the Dungeons & Dragons show where we meet Hugh Fructose, the gummy hippo assassin.
Charlie, would you describe your character, please?
Hey, I'm Charlie. I'm playing Hugh Fructose. I am a GIF plasmoid hybrid. I am playing a rogue. My story is a tale as old as time itself. It all begins, like all good fairy tales, a love story. My father was a standard GIF. He was an archaeologist from our world. He was traveling the cosmos looking for some ancient artifacts of power, kind of like Dragon Balls. He ends up on a world of candy where he met my mother, a sentient gummy bear. The two fell madly in love, shared a night full of passion, fire, fluid, and gave birth to me, Hugh Fructose. And I have the abilities of both an amorphous blob from my mother's side and a GIF, which is kind of just a big hippo. So I'm very strong, very malleable. I've got a lot of tools and I'm an assassin by trade.
Feeling the festive Christmas spirit, on December 25th, Charlie plays Santa by asking his chat what they want for Christmas and then gifting it to them.
As your reward, you've been visited by Charlie dressed up for the first time in a decade, really. I went to a little Christmas function and didn't change. So you're getting to see me in all my glory here, unlocking full potential with my third eye. I'm wearing a button-up and a tie, and I tied it myself. And here's a little free Christmas gift for all of you out there. For all of you goofball goobers who don't know how to tie a tie, here's a little 4-second tutorial. You get your tie like this, and then you take this part, put it over this one in your hand, and then you make a little loop. You put this hand through it, and you get this little doohickey going. Put it around your neck, pull it through, and you get yourself like a tiny little Windsor, or a 4-in-hand. I don't remember what knot it's called, but Merry Christmas! There's a little gift for you. That's not what I'm here to talk about, though, by the way. What a long-winded intro, per usual. There's actually a couple of things I want to briefly go over. So, first is the stream I did earlier today. Many of you may have noticed I went live with a celebration stream, a little Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays moment. Santa Claus gave me some goodies, some new clothes to try on, and it really filled me with that holly jolly spirit. So when I got back from my parents' house, I wanted to stream for a little while with a special stream in mind. So basically what I did today on stream is I just had people tell me what they wanted for Christmas, but they didn't get, and how much it would have cost. So this ranged from a lot of really goofy things, like there was some dude who wanted a pair of night vision goggles for $600, and that gave me a hearty giggle. And just like old Saint Nicholas himself, I said, you know what? Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. I don't know what you plan on doing with high-tech night vision goggles. I may have been communicating directly with Sam Fisher, or I helped fund a small militia, perhaps. Like, if there's a news story tomorrow, a headline that reads, "Assassin broke in the middle of the night and took down this important figure," I'm gonna start sweating, wondering if he used the night vision goggles I helped fund.
And now we enter 2024. As of January, Charlie is sitting at a cool 14.3 million subscribers on YouTube, and it's still steadily growing. His content and humor has evolved over time, but his humble and stoic nature has always remained the same. His flat and bored voice, like his white t-shirt wardrobe, has remained consistent. In over 15 years of being emotionless to jump scares, playing the worst of the worst shitty games the space has to offer, and going from a nerdy and isolated chubby awkward kid to a successful businessman has built him into the powerhouse of gaming influence that he is today. Through all of this, he still keeps things like the descriptions the same, with "This is the greatest X of all time." Also, his YouTube channel still rocks the same banner and profile picture from over a decade ago. It's such a beautiful thing to see him go from this.
I want everyone to know my name. I want my name to be remembered. I want to be remembered. I want to be remembered as someone who made a positive impact on the entire world, and I want everyone on the planet to know who I am.
To this. Also, this August he turns 30, so welcome to the club, fucker. And as always, thanks for watching.
Well, anyways, that's about it. See ya.